Alrighty, so today we're going to talk about a different method for division called synthetic division. It's a shortcut method, so it doesn't take near as long, but it only works if the binomial that we're dividing by has a coefficient of 1, meaning there's not a number in front of that x there. Okay, so we have x squared plus 3x minus 43 divided by x plus 8. Alright, so this is what we're dividing by, is this x plus 8 right here. My marker doesn't work. There it goes. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide by the 0. So remember, opposites. Zeros are the opposites of our factors. So since this says x plus 8, we're going to put negative 8 out front here. Okay, and I'm going to put it in a little box. And then I'm going to write the coefficients of each of my variables. So I'm going to have a 1 on that x squared, a 3 on the x, and a negative 43 for my constant. And I'm going to leave a space and then draw a little line here. Okay, for synthetic division, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring down this 1, and then I'm going to multiply negative 8 times anything that's on this row. So negative 8 times 1, negative 8 times 1 is negative 8. And then I'm going to add the things in that column. So 3 plus negative 8. 3 plus negative 8 is going to be negative 5. Then I'm going to multiply again, negative 8, so this number that's here, times that negative 5. Negative 8 times negative 5 is going to be positive 40. And then I'm going to add those together, and I'm going to get negative 3. Now I put that one in a little box also because that's our remainder. So after I'm done dividing, I do have to write this back as a polynomial, not just numbers. So I had x squared divided by x, so this would be, you can write it as 1x or just x minus 5, and then since this is negative, minus 3 over x plus 8. And that x plus 8 comes from what we were dividing by. Okay, notice this started out as an x squared. We divided by x. Remember that when we're dividing, we subtract exponents. So 2 minus 1 is why this is just a single x now. Okay, so let's try again. Okay, so we have 2n squared minus 16n plus 19 divided by n minus 7. Okay, so I'm dividing by n minus 7. My 0 that corresponds to this would be positive 7. And then my coefficients are 2, negative 16, and positive 19. I'm going to bring down the 2. And then I'm going to multiply this 7 times any number that gets put on this row right here. So 7 times 2 is positive 14. When I add those together, I get negative 2. 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. And when I add those together, I get positive 5. This started out as n squared, and I divided by n, so this would be 2n minus 2. And my remainder is positive, so I'm going to put plus 5 over n minus 7. Okay, and we're just going to keep doing that. Sometimes it adds terms. So now we have 4 terms instead of 3, which is just fine. We're still going to do the same thing. So we have y cubed plus 5y squared minus 7y plus 2. We're dividing by y minus 2. So our 0 is going to be 2. My coefficients are 1, 5, negative 7, and 2. Bring down that first number, so bring down the 1. 2 times 2 times 1 is 2. If I add those together, I get 7. 2 times 7 is 14. If I add those together, I get 7. And 2 times 7 is 14. If I add those together, I get 16. So then this was y cubed divided by y. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So this would be 1, oh, that's not a y, 1y squared okay. So I'm just going to write it, oh my goodness, as a y squared plus 7y plus 7, and then my remainder is positive, so plus 16 over y minus 2. All right. We have c to the fourth plus 9c cubed plus 13c squared minus 33c minus 16 divided by c plus 4. So that means I'm going to have a negative 4 out front. So I'm going to have negative 4 out front. And then that looks like 1, 9, 13, negative 33, negative 16. I'm going to bring down the first number. Okay, negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. When I add those together, I get 5. Negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. When I add those together, I get negative 7. Negative 4 times negative 7 is 28. When I add those together, I get negative 5. Negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20. And when I add those together, I get 4. This was c to the fourth divided by c. So 4 minus 1 is 3, so this is going to start out as c cubed plus 5c squared minus 7c minus 5. My remainder is positive, so I'm going to do plus 4 over c plus 4. Okay, only 2 to go. And there's not really much difference here. Like, we're still going to be doing the same thing, but notice what we have over here. It says we're missing powers. It says use a 0 as a coefficient if there is a missing power in the dividend. So if there's any power missing, so notice this says k cubed minus 17k. We're missing that squared component, and so we're going to put a 0 in its place. All right, so I'm looking at k plus 5, so that means my 0 is negative 5. My coefficient is going to be 1. Since I'm missing the squared term, I'm going to put a 0, minus 17, and then 32. Okay, anytime you're missing any piece of it, you have to put a 0. So I'm going to bring down the 1. Negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. If I add those, it's negative 5. Negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. When I add those, it is 8. Negative 5 times 8 is negative 40. When I add those, it is negative 8. And that's my remainder. Okay, so this was k cubed divided by k. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So this is going to be k squared minus 5k plus 8. Since this is negative, I'm going to put minus 8 over k plus 5. All right, last one. All right, we have 8x to the fourth minus 64x cubed plus 3x minus 28. Again, we're missing that squared component. So I have x minus 8, so I'm going to put a positive 8 out front. And then I'm going my fourth power, my third power. I'm missing the squared, power to the 1, and then my constant. Okay, I'm going to first bring down this 8. 8 times 8 is 64. When I add these, I get 0. 8 times 0 is 0. When I add these, I get 0. 8 times 8 again is 0. I'm sorry, 8 times 0 is 0. When I add these again, I get 3. 8 times 3 is 24. So that leaves my remainder as negative 4. Alright, so this is x to the 4th, and I'm dividing by x. So 4 minus 1 is 3, so this is going to be 8x cubed. This would have been 0x squared, I'm not going to write it, 0x, not going to write it, and then plus 3. And then my remainder is minus 4 over x minus 8. And that's my answer. Alright, so that's synthetic division. So you'll have some time today or tomorrow to work on your assignment over synthetic division. And then just let me know if you guys have any questions. I hope you have a great rest of your day.